Hello, it is Monday, May 18th. Welcome to McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. I am Pat McAfee. To my left, the handsome man in front of the bookshelf, AJ Hawk. How are you, pal?
I'm doing great, pal. How you doing?
I'm good. You know, this weekend I became text friends with somebody that we know.
Who was that?
Ooh.
Oh, you know. You know.
Well, you're already text friends with Jeremy Piven. We know that.
Okay, yeah, that is correct. That didn't happen this weekend. Jeremy Piven did not happen this weekend.
Scottie Pippen, you're close friends with, too.
Scottie Pippen and I have never texted, but we are close, I do believe.
Yep.
I do believe.
Oh, yeah.
Who could it be?
Aaron Rodgers.
Let's go!
No way.
Yeah.
Number 12?
What happened? Why did it take so long?
That was actually part of the conversation. Was why did this take so long? I blamed him. He took the blame, and I told him that type of accountability is hard to find these days. And then we moved. That was a DM conversation. We moved into a text conversation. So now we're in a situation. What's the first text I sent that said, man? So I chose the GIF of us coming up the escalator at the golf tournament with the belt. And that's my first message to him. And then he responded a day later. Now that's where we're at. I'm trying to figure out what's going back to him next.
Nice.
This is a real mental joust here.
Wait a second. Hold on. So you've sent a GIF, possibly 24 to 30 hours later. He sent back what?
Hi, Pat.
And that's where we're at right now.
That's where we're at, yeah. With a period. Hi, Pat, with a period, right? So now I'm making him wait at least. It's been 24 hours, maybe 30 hours since that text. So I want to let him know, like, hey, that's not how I fucking play, pal, okay? Just because you answer doesn't mean I'm automatically going to answer. Now I have to properly time this. And
Well, no, because you would have answered right back, but he waited a full day. If he would have got right back to you, then you get back to him. So you're going to make it look like, hey, like I'm driving the boat here, not you.
Bingo. And also when he was the one that gave his number in the direct messages, I did not just automatically send a message over, by the way. It was like 5-6 hours later after message had been seen that I didn't answer. I just want to make sure that he understands, like, hey, I'm very thankful to be texting with him, but hey, I am a journalist. Okay, have a little fucking integrity, pal.
I think a lot of people can probably relate to that, though, like your situation that you're in, although it is funny. It is relatable. Everyone has had somebody that they have gotten in contact with, got introduced to somehow, and you're like, okay,
Don't fuck it up.
now what?
Yeah,
what
don't
do we do?
fuck it up. That's like, for instance, whenever when the sexing apps used to happen, when those apps you swipe right to have sex with somebody else, hey, bone, no bone.
Those still happen, right?
Yeah, but when they first came out, okay, I had a lot of teammates that were on there. I used to be like, oh, okay, so a lot of my teammates would beat the game or whatever. So the messaging would be the next move, right? They'd hit rock bottom on the swipes. And I always enjoyed it. I was always like, give my tips. You know, that bear that would wave hello. I always thought that was kind of something clever to send in there. The boys would never listen whenever I said that. But you sent that?
Oh yeah, I changed my game up quick.
Whenever I started giving those?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because I couldn't be on the game. I couldn't be in the game, right? I couldn't be in the game, but I just thought to myself, if I was in said game when this was years and years ago, by the way. Years ago.
Decades.
No, not decades. It was in a moment where I was single, but I didn't want to get onto this thing. Like I had a little bit of.
You're on like you would never like slum to that level. You're on Raya, right? The celebrity Tinder app.
No, see, I didn't. I heard that existed because we had a friend who somehow worked his way onto there, and he should not have been on.
What friend?
there.
It's like hard for people to get on. What friend?
Exactly. He got on there, so I think it kind of ruined the credibility of the rest of the app or whatever for me. But I would never do it. But I would always, like watch my friend play the video game, like give my tips out. And whenever I was like, oh, the bear thing, Nick started using, and did it work?
Yeah.
See, I knew I could beat the game if I had to. Never got to play, but I knew I could have if I had to. Just that little fat bear saying hello. That's what it was like with me and Aaron Rodgers. I was trying to figure out which GIF of me am I sending to him so he knows that it's me. And it was the one from his golf tournament where we were coming up the escalator. And I thought it was a good little arrival into his text messaging thing because
I think it's awesome. I think the best part is because he will get wind of your situation, like your dilemma, as you exclaim like, hey, I'm text friends with this person, and really no, I sent him a GIF. He sent me 2 words and a period, and now that's where we're at right now.
He has said more words than me though at this point. So
Good point.
I'm just telling you, but if
point.
you're going to start this mental text game back and forth,
no fucking big deal.
hey,
I've said
if you're going to play
words.
like hard to get though, Pat, and you're going to start this whole like mental mind game thing with Aaron, he'll take it to the death. Like he'll never break character and stay with it and play his own mind games back.
I think this is because I said that I would turn on him last week, and he didn't want me to. You know what I mean? When he did that local press thing, I was like, listen, I turned on Andy Dalton. I didn't want to, but fucking had to. I had to turn on him. I would never turn on Aaron, but there was a little bit of a hint that I was potentially thinking about turning. Then all of a sudden this starts up. I thought he handled that press conference, Zoom conference, very well, by the way. It just like you said that he would do, and I assume everybody was like, he'll say all the right things. He did. He even stated some truth in there. He was like, listen, I was shocked by it all. And a lot of people are reporting what he said, but they're leaving out the first sentence. The first sentence of everything that he said. And I don't appreciate that. I don't like, whenever you're getting left off of things, like, I'm mad, but I speak for you, and you're like, when we're both left off, I don't like the way that plays, my friend. No way.
Yeah, like I don't mind like when I'm left off of anything really, but you're right. Like when it came out of his mouth, like, well, I was watching the stream with Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk on their show, and that gets left out of everything. Then I'm like, you know what? That is what are we doing? We're like, okay, selective journalism.
Are we just picking and choosing what everybody gets to hear? He said AJ Hawk, Pat McAfee, and even the boys. The boys even got a shout out in that thing.
Aaron.
What about these guys? Cut to a close-up shot of one of these guys. Look at that face there, wearing a Duquesne D on his forehead. You see that kid? He's worked his entire life to create something that maybe he'll get credit for. That guy has not created a lot of things that he's wanted to take credit for. That kid's not smart. He's not that intelligent. He's not that athletic anymore. But he was shouted out in the middle of a press conference by Aaron Rodgers, and guess what? ESPN just snips it off. They say that guy with the D on his face, he doesn't need this type of credit. That guy doesn't deserve this type of credit. And I say, bullshit. What about the guy in the back there with the mustache? Think about that kid right next to Diggs. Yeah, right there. That guy went to school for 45 years. He's using none of his education at this point. He is a single man. He's got a dog named Walt that chases down trains. He has a gang called a shot gang that nobody knows exists. He gets a shout out from Aaron Rodgers, and they cut it off. This is the American dream. What about that guy? Owner of the Green Bay Packers. He's had to sit through this entire thing, not only as himself, but as Mad Mel Kiper. He gets a shout out on a Zoom press conference by Aaron Rodgers. What do? Fucking cut it out.
God damn it!
Next person, please.
They didn't cut out Zito. Zito's been shouted out enough on national television.
Not too much.
But what about that, AJ? What about the boys getting cut off of all these people? Unbelievable.
I mean, that's what I'm upset about. You're right. Maybe they'll run a retraction. You think? Those always work. A lot of people see them.
I went right into Schefter's post on Instagram. I was like, pretty convenient, leaving off one particular sentence that was right before here, and everybody was like, selective bullshit media bias. And I'm like, it's not that serious. Everybody's thinking it's way too serious.
Well,
what's that?
It would have been nice to give you a little credit. I'm just saying, hand up.
How about that kid right there? He did junior year of his high school twice. Yeah. You think he was ever going to get a shout out from Aaron Rodgers? Never. And then he gets one, and they just eliminate from the history books.
Yeah, he doesn't even know how to turn on the light when he knows he's going to be on camera.
Yeah, it's every single time.
But see, it just doesn't. There it is. Sometimes it doesn't work.
What
Sometimes you got to turn it off and on.
When does it not work? When you don't press the button?
Yeah, like, see, look at that.
We can hear you hitting the button, though.
No, you can't. She's like, right now it's not working, and then.
How do you feel about that mustache, AJ? By the way, he got rid of the chops, but the mustache. How do you feel about it?
Too close.
It's a little bit scary right now looking at him, but no, it looks like it fits Connor. Like that mustache. Like, okay, yeah, this guy's serious.
He does look like a fireman or something like that. You know what I mean? Like a cop.
Maybe volunteer fireman.
Yeah, you're not getting paid, not professional.
Pull over right now.
That's not.
Pull over.
That's a police officer, right?
Pull hands behind your back.
Okay, how about a fireman now?
Get out of the way! Get out of the way! There's a fire! There's a fire!
It's tough.
Quick! Get the hose! Get the hose now!
There we go.
Plug the hose into the fire hydrant now!
Now,
Quick! There are children involved!
did you just do a little David Koresh right there? At the end? Hey, man.
What about the pets,
kids in
Connor?
here,
There's
brother.
pets inside too.
Oh my God! Get the cats out of that building right now!
Did you hear my lady had a pet raccoon this weekend?
I saw a video of that. Wait, did you bring it in?
Me?
Did she bring it into the house?
Yeah, at one point that thing was inside of our house in a cage because you're not allowed to they're not allowed to be pets. So here's the story, long story short. I took the dogs outside to shit, okay? I take the dogs outside to shit. The little one named Chuck, who's a corgi, who doesn't listen to anybody and lives by his own rules. As soon as we go outside, he sprints to the right of our house, around the corner, and I'm like, Chuck. He doesn't know his name, obviously. Chuck. He keeps running fast, so I have to go. I have my slippers on. It's raining. I turn the corner. I have to do like a little quick tap thing so I don't fall down. And there's a raccoon basically with its hands up on the wall, okay, facing like it's going to climb up, and Chuck is just like at attention staring at him. So I'm like, get the fuck out of the way. So I get him, I hit him on the butt, get him to go back inside the house. So I come inside and I'm like, Chuck just chased down a baby raccoon outside. So then as soon as I said it, I was like, oh no, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. So then I go to the kitchen and Sam's like, I have to go. So Sam goes outside. The baby raccoon or whatever is still up against the wall trying to climb. We know that it lives up inside of my chimney. So these raccoons live inside of my house because we've seen them going in and we've heard them once they get inside. We feed mother raccoon every single night. And by we, I mean Sam. She get this raccoon's going to have a fucking heart attack. It has more sweets than anybody I've ever seen. The raccoon will raccoon will go through the salty stuff, pick up the sweet stuff, eat the sweet stuff. Peanut butter, big get for the raccoon. Ritz with peanut butter will open the Ritz thing, lick the peanut butter, and then eat it. The raccoon has been very fascinating, but it's been a pet. So this baby one she sees, she's like, oh, it must have been separated from the mom. So she picks it up. I go outside. She's holding it in her arms like a little baby. This thing is being pet now. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are you doing with that? She's like, we got to return it to its mom. So the mom comes out at the same time to eat the food on our deck every single night, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, every single night. So Sam's just sitting there until 7:30, 8, holding her, putting her over his shoulder, rubbing her, this whole thing. They're becoming like a bond at this point. I've seen this song and dance before. This thing's a fucking pet in no time. But then the law says you can't. And finally the raccoon comes up and Sam lets it out, and the baby goes walking into a corner because it was a dumb little baby, and then it made a sound, and then it goes beeline right towards the mom raccoon, hops on the back of that thing, latches, and then the raccoon takes off, and Sam starts crying and bawling her eyes off, and it was a real magical moment. But yeah, I had a raccoon in my house this weekend for about 6-7 hours.
I guess it's a storybook ending for that little guy. How big was this raccoon?
Small. They're very thin too. Like when you talk, because obviously I pet and held this thing too yesterday. It's a real thin, like weasel almost, ferret-like thinness.
Huh? Don't they carry rabies?
Yeah, but this one didn't have any teeth.
Yeah.
So he's fresh. Like how old is this
He's a
thing?
baby. I have no
like a
idea.
vampire?
It looked like it was a couple months old. Spring too is when babies come, right? So it can't be that old.
True. Except for the claws, too.
Thing was very claws. Yeah, Sam's all fucking sliced and diced. Because the thing was hanging on her like it was a fucking kangaroo or whatever. And they got these little hands, these claws, and this whole thing. I mean, to the raccoon, baby raccoon's credit, could have bit Sam at any moment, chose not to. So it was very nice of that raccoon.
I mean, it's good you got the baby away because it's just a matter of time before that raccoon does decide to bite.
Well, the fox too. I mean, we had a fox come up and check out the baby at one point. I mean, so Sam was freaking out.
Well, if you're feeding that raccoon every night, there's lots of animals, I would guess, that come check your house out.
Oh, the squirrels. We got this one squirrel. His son of a bitch is real fat. I don't know how many nuts you can fit in your mouth. This one has done them all. I mean, it's unbelievable. This raccoon is going to be the fattest raccoon in history. It's only a matter of time. It's going to be Jerry Krause looking soon. Good pivot. Let's talk about The Last Dance. Did you watch the final 2 episodes last night?
Yes, I did.
How'd you feel about it?
I felt like it was a good ending to the whole story, the 10-part. I mean, did it need to be 10 parts? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm glad it was, just because I'm a Jordan guy. I just wonder if someone wasn't a Jordan person, would they have wanted it to be 10 episodes?
So everybody in here just looked at Foxy because Foxy's a big-time LeBron guy, not a big Jordan guy. For me, I didn't know much about Jordan. I was happy it was 10 episodes. Now, did I get confused a couple of times when they would bounce back and forth? And I'm like, all right, what did we learn last week that we haven't? Dennis, okay, he's on the team already, but this week he's with the Pistons still. There was a couple of times where it was a little bit awkwardly format, I guess, because you're probably supposed to binge watch it. And when you binge watch it, you can bounce back and forth. But whenever you have that week in between, then you bounce back and forth. It can get a little bit confusing. I like, though, that it spanned 5 weeks. It gave us something to look forward to. I feel like I got an entire history lesson, not only on the Bulls, but basketball at the time in general, how it became an international thing. And basically, the life of Michael Jordan being one that is incredibly legendary is something that I got from it. But I think the people that are LeBron James fans watch that thing and we're like, LeBron's still the greatest player of all time. And the people that watch that are Michael Jordan people would say, Michael Jordan is still the greatest basketball player of all time. I don't think it proved anything of that nature, but for us and for me, I think it proved as quite a history lesson for me to not seem as stupid whenever I'm talking about old Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I would agree with what you're saying. And the whole like Jordan LeBron argument, I don't ever dive into that like who cares? There's not an answer. Like Kobe even said when Kobe was alive, like, why are we arguing something where there's no answer, like a subjective thing? And I understand it drives media and people love to compare players from different eras and all this stuff. I thought what was fun was to see John Stockton out there running point guard in his little baby shorts back in the day. Like I forgot about John Stockton. I remember him as a player a little bit, I guess. But it's funny when you see that guy like so unassuming, you see him dicing through the lane and making plays. You're like, how does this guy ever do that? Could he do that today? And I don't know.
He looked like a fourth grade teacher when he was speaking last night. Fourth, fifth grade teacher, maybe a principal, very unassuming guy who used to go out and deliver the mail there with the mailman Malone. But hey, how about him missing that free throw? Did not expect that from Stockton. Missed a free throw last night I didn't expect. What I saw was Jordan miss shots, which I had never seen before. I had only seen highlights of him. But it's the minor details of getting to witness why the greats are great is what I appreciated. That behind the scenes, the access and the footage that they had, not only with the Space Jam gym that they had, but also whenever he was coming back from baseball and listening to Francona talk. It's just the access is next level. And I'll miss The Last Dance on Sunday nights. So I talked about this on the earlier show. You know, Entourage was on Sunday nights. Could wait all week for Entourage. Sopranos was on Sunday night. Could wait. Game of Thrones was on Sunday nights. That Sunday night spot, if you can hit it right, you have the world waiting for Sunday night. And The Last Dance did that for 5 straight weeks. And a lot of swearing on ESPN. No other live sports. I mean, this could potentially be the dawn of a new day whenever it comes to sports talk and sports media.
What do you mean?
Maybe they'll let us get a show on there where I could drop a couple fucks. You know what I mean?
They were able to do that because it was after 9 p.m., correct?
Well, they're replaying the old episodes and they're on at 8 and 7 throughout the night, right? Like,
Good point.
I would turn on at 8 o'clock and catch up where we were at because they're not going to do a previously on The Last Dance, which I think it did need each week. So I would watch 3 Last Dances each week there moving forward. 8 o'clock, they were letting them fucks fly, pal. They were letting them swing out there.
Yeah, I don't know who's making the rules. I guess ESPN can do what they want, especially right now when you know everybody's watching.
Dennis Rodman was making rules. Dennis Rodman was doing whatever the hell he wanted. You want to go to Vegas in the middle of the season? Fucking do it, pal. Pippen just came back, punish everybody else. Let me go to Vegas, and then we'll run Native American sprints. My first day back, and I'm going to be in better shape than everybody. Middle of the finals, trying to get ring number 6. I got to go to Nitro, pal. DDP needs to get hit in the back with a chair so we can really sell this pay-per-view. Oh, Karl Malone, how about you and me have a dust-up in the middle of the game to help build up this pay-per-view that WCW Bash at the Beach is having? Dennis Rodman made the rules, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's making rules right now for ESPN.
He did. I saw where Ron Harper, his teammate, they said, like, oh, what would you call him? He said, a businessman. He got fined $50K, and he made $250 for going to Nitro and missing that practice.
You tell me. And he hit somebody with a chair. You tell me.
And he set up future matches, too, so he set up future income his way.
Mark Madden, WCW commentator and writer back in the day, he came on the show earlier and said that Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman in the finals had a little bit of a dust-up on the court, Game 6. That was all set up by the WCW so that they could sell the Hulk Hogan, Dennis Rodman versus DDP Karl Malone match that was coming up. That was all rigged. Do you think that's true or not?
I think it's possible. I'm sure WCW wanted something like that to kind of organically happen, and maybe they mentioned that a few times to Carl and Dennis, and it probably just kind of naturally happened with the style of play they both had. But has Dennis or Carl commented on this? Because I don't think this is something that Dennis Rodman would lie about. If you asked him directly, like, hey, was this set up by WCW? You guys wanted to do this to kind of build some hype for a wrestling match? Don't you think he would answer, like, he would be truthful?
You would think. You would think he would be.
Someone should ask him.
We should. Can we get him on the
Kim
show?
Jong-un, is he in America or is he in North Korea?
I'll reach out to him.
Well, you got to go to Weed Maps. I think Weed Maps is his big sponsor. That's when he went to Jim Kong's crib. I think he had a Weed Maps thing on. He was
So why did your guy, as you call him, Jim Kong, is it known now that he faked his death to see who was really on his side?
Yeah, it's just like what Kim and Kanye did. Just what Kim and Kanye did.
What did they do?
They lied to their inner circle about baby names, and then whenever a leaked baby name would get out, they knew exactly who the rat snitch suckhole was of the group. Get him out! Get him out!
That's a proven thing that works.
It's
if
a
you
good
do
move.
it that way,
Kim Jong-un goes into surgery, and then as he comes out, he's like, "Don't tell anybody." He's like, "I think that motherfucker's lying. Tell him I'm dead. Nobody else knows. Just put me in a hole. Tell that one person." That person goes out parading around. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Calling Harvey Levin. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. They start reporting he's dead. I report he's dead. Jim Jong-un update. The son of a bitch is dead. The man who said he found a unicorn lair one time with a straight face is officially dead. And then little did we know, the only person that was dead was said person who got the information from said person that was the wrong information, because he was probably fed to actual wolves while Kim Jong-un watched it and ate food while observing.
So yeah, I guess this would scare anyone's future ambition off. Like if they wanted to somehow climb the ladder and do something to get some more attention on themselves. No, you're not going to do it after this stunt, right?
Can't do it.
It's too
Won't
risky.
do it. He shot somebody with a fucking airplane missile before. Yeah. Kim Jong-un.
I really wonder. I've read some books on him. I can't even say his name right now after listening to you call him Jim Kong, or I don't even know.
Are some of those books the books that you read about him right behind you?
No, not these. I've listened to a couple audiobooks and read an actual legit sit-down read book, which I don't do a whole lot anymore.
That's my name. It's my name.
Yeah.
That's my name. Graphics.
If Kim Jong-un wanted you to go over and referee a basketball game, would you do it?
No, I put out an entire song making fun of him. Mm-hmm. I know much better.
What if he thought it was funny, though?
He didn't. But I have been told that there's people in pretty prominent positions in Washington who have heard the song and enjoyed the song.
Oh, I believe that 100%.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, after we released this song, there's a lot of slander coming out about Jim Kong where people were popping off like, oh, the little fat man and this and that. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. Did I hit the green light on being able to troll this guy? I would like to back off of that. If Jim Kong and I were to become friends, though, I think I'd be able to solve all these things, these issues. You know, the meth that he deals to his citizens and all that stuff.
It's a weird world over there, isn't it?
I mean, you look at that map of everybody connected, and then there's just a black hole right there on that peninsula or on that island north of South Korea. It's like, how does that still exist in 2020? None of us will ever know. And that's the power of Jim Jong-un, who feeds airplane missiles to people's mouths if you don't say what he wants you to say.
Yeah, he's a bad dude, obviously.
Bad guy.
Not that this person is a bad dude, but you mentioned something about some loaded dice in the NFL players, the gambling scandal where they may have brandished a gun allegedly and took some cash and watches off of people. What are you talking about, loaded dice?
Okay, so I said that what I thought happened was they lost $70,000 a couple nights before at another card game, allegedly. We don't know if any of this is true. We are just trying to connect the dots that we.
They all claim they're through their lawyers. I know they're claiming they're innocent, and they have proof to back it up that they're going to show to the public after the judges see it, I guess.
Okay, awesome. I hope so. But until that happens, we have to try to guess on what potentially could have led to this moment. Because this isn't, two NFL guys aren't just going to start robbing people out of the middle of nowhere. Now, there had to be something that, by the way, most people aren't, but there had to be something to get to this point. Darius Butler, former safety for the Colts, corner for the Patriots, runs everything DB, a podcast now. I said what I thought happened was they won money, people wouldn't pay, so they demanded watches in lieu of payment. I'll take your watch, I'll take your watch, I'll take your watch, and they get out of there, right? Which I have seen done before. I've seen somebody just give up their watch instead of paying a gambling debt. So maybe that was the case. Darius said, since he heard that there was a $70,000 loss a couple of nights before that the players could have learned or been told that maybe it was a dice game and they were being cheated out of money, said loaded die, dirty die, guys lose $70,000 a couple nights later. Okay, we're here to get our money back now. Since you kind of screwed us and fucked us over, bang, now they rob them. I don't know which one it is, but I would assume that neither story will come out exactly how it is. We'll have to kind of piece it together. But anytime you're getting into that high stakes gambling shit, there's a chance that all hell could break loose. And Adam Sandler found that out the wrong way.
Yes, he did. But even if there is, let's say it was a rigged game they were playing in, it's not going to help them with law enforcement.
But you would think the reason why this types of thing happen, like, I don't want to say speak for these people, but you see like drug dealers get robbed because the people robbing the drug dealers, like, well, the drug dealers aren't going to call the cops because they're doing something illegal, so they're not going to call the cops, right? That's kind of well, we can rob a bad guy because bad guy won't call cops on said bad decision because they're already doing something that is illegal. I would assume that Dunbar and Baker were like, okay, this is an illegal game. They did something illegal. If we go and get ours back, they won't be able to do a damn thing about it. And they were like, joke's on you. I wear a fake watch and I'll fucking call the cops on you. So, I mean, it is kind of an interesting dilemma here that there's been a lot of NFL guys getting in trouble. I talked to Hugh Jackson last week, and Hugh was like, he's surprised there isn't more of this because guys are away from the team. They're out of their routine. They're out of their habits. They're out of their schedule. They're back in their hometowns, their neighborhoods, doing whatever. And then over the weekend, it just started rattling off like 3, 4, 5 other guys get arrested for things. And I just hope the world can get back to normalcy so these guys can get out of these environments that hopefully can get them out of some trouble.
Well, anytime there's any kind of off time for, especially like any professional sports, especially football, because I think it's so strict and it's so like regimented when you are in season. So you know that 5 or 6 weeks from the end of OTAs and your mini camp until camp, that's always a big time for guys to get arrested and things to happen because you're not with your team and you're, like you said, you're hanging out back in your hometown with your buddies. But I think now we haven't seen a ton of it up until now. It's just because where are you going to go? I mean, yeah, you can go over to, they can break the social distancing situation and go hang out with some people at a house party or whatever, but there's no bars, there's no clubs open, at least up until now. I know some stuff has opened up.
Hey,
but I think that's what kept it kind of down a little bit until now.
Intern Emmett's here. Is there any parties or any gatherings, or is it all kind of social distancing?
Social distancing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's not what you were saying.
That's not.
What?
This fucking guy.
Don't play it cool.
Don't play it. Emmett just tried to come in here.
He thinks his coaches are watching.
Well, he came in here trying to give Tim McAfee coronavirus. Basically. This weekend, he's been socially distancing a little bit too much, I think. Yeah.
God damn it, Mitt.
That's an error.
God damn it.
If I've ever seen it.
Wait, how did he try to give your dad coronavirus?
Well, he was just every single rule that they put in here in Indiana, Emmett was dancing with, so he get a little free. He ate at restaurants outside.
No.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But he was the one trying to sneak his left leg inside. It was at 50% capacity, but was it when Emmett showed up, or was it 51% whenever Emmett showed up? These are all the things. Emmett's been fucking dancing with the line of what is safe and what isn't safe way too much these last couple of days. And he's the problem. Emmett's the reason why we're in quarantine right now. Emmett would be on that beach in Florida if he could 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Emmett, he probably was.
Were you there, Mitt?
He said he couldn't come in and be an intern until a certain date. Was that whenever the beach was fucking dried up, Emmett? Jesus.
Well, I'm glad we have someone to blame now.
Yeah.
Emmett McMahon, the reason for quarantine 2020.
Emmett McMahon, that's a strong name. What about the golf thing? Did you watch it? That was riveting.
It was the worst. It was just so boring. Listen, the guy I never heard of, Matt Wolff, pretty good ball player, I guess. Pretty good at golf.
He's the biggest character of the group.
That's because he's got nothing to lose. Nobody knows him. So, I mean, he
Has
just
to bring the
you
character.
go
I
in
watched
there-
him bomb. Like, he won the long drive early on.
And they were up, by the way. I was in between a couple naps and flipping back and forth with the NASCAR, but NASCAR was definitely much more riveting than the golf. It was awesome to see Rory and Dustin and Ricky and Mr. Wolff hit the ball around, and the course was gorgeous. If I stood close enough to my television, it was like I was on vacation, whenever they would stare off at the beach, which is what I love. I just love staring at the ocean. I enjoyed it, but boy, that was a snooze fest the entire time. I mean, Rory banging it closest to the pin, 120 yard in the playoff, getting 6 skins and $1.1 million. Obviously awesome. We told you Rory and Dustin Johnson were going to win easily. They did. I got my bet in, which was awesome. But that Wolff and Fowler team really put up quite a fight that I did not expect. But it was boring as shit. And I am a little bit worried that this weekend's game is going to be the same.
That's why I'm wondering, do you think it maybe turn some people away from thinking about watching the Tiger, Phil, Peyton, Tom Brady match, or do you think it served as a nice little appetizer for the main event?
I just hope it served as a lesson for the people that are putting it on. Like, okay, we don't have to talk the exact same way whenever there's actual people here, and maybe we should bring a little bit of fucking excitement. There was,
What ruined
great.
it too, though? It ruined being on network TV that they had to go to commercial after every single tee shot, I feel like, and we didn't get to see the guys walking up the fairway together. Like, that's why I think you tune into this, to hear the conversations these guys are having.
I think they tried their best. Bill Murray came in sideways. I mean, that conversation was, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes too long, but I appreciated that they brought in some guests. I thought they were going to do more of that, right? President called in, Bill Murray called in, nobody else really. I thought Tirico tried his best there, but all in all, I thought it was rather snoozy whenever you had a chance to watch the Kyle Larson-less NASCAR squad take off on Fox at about the same time.
What was the NASCAR like? I only saw a real little bit.
Same exact.
Did it feel normal?
Same exact as it always is. Yep, same exact.
Did they show did they find a way to zoom in and not show the empty stands, or what?
Well, there's only a couple real in NASCAR people are going to come after me for this. I just gave you a compliment, though. So if this gets clipped at this point, I don't know what to fucking tell you. There's normally not a lot of motherfuckers at the races anyways. There's only certain races that it's filled up, right? A lot of places. What's that?
Are you sure about that? I feel like all of them, at least that are televised, are jammed.
No, yeah. See, they'll get you that shot. But if you look towards the edge, there's empty bleachers and stuff like. Now, granted, the big ones are always going to be filled up, but I don't think that affects the coverage as much as in sports where the reaction is needed. For instance, I don't think the NFL relies on the crowd reaction as much as college football does. College football, I think, needs that environment to make it a little bit better, to enhance it. NFL does not. I think NASCAR doesn't need the crowd to enhance this situation. I think golf does on a very. I don't think UFC needs it, right? I don't think UFC needs it at all. I actually like it a little bit more when I can hear everything they're saying. I think soccer does, though. So I think we're learning throughout this entire thing what potentially needs a crowd reaction or is better with a crowd reaction versus what isn't. I would take sports with no audience 10 times out of 10 over sports with no sports at all. But I think we are learning which sports need an audience. And I think golf is one that could potentially benefit from having people react with a little bit of energy so it's not a fucking fest the entire time.
Well, it is tough. So NBC put that on. Who was putting on the Tom Brady match?
Turner.
Okay, so is Charles Barkley involved at all? I would think he could help try to liven them up because if they're not talking, he'll make fun of them and go back at them. And
I think Ernie hosted the preview little talk, so I assume he's calling it, which would hopefully Chuck would be involved.
I know Lefko is doing the pregame thing.
Let's go. Here we go.
Nice.
Okay, so we got some Lefko mania coming before the golf thing. And then the golf thing with Ernie on there.
Why'd they carry their bags? Why didn't they just ride in a cart by themselves?
Respect the game, dude.
Yeah, dude. Gentleman's game.
Respect
But
the
it
game.
made them look like I thought they were college kids when they would hit a good shot and then they got to pick up their bag.
By the way, that's what Matt Wolff is. He's a college kid. He's one of the most accomplished college golfers of all
The
time.
Zion of college golf, they said, didn't they?
Yeah, he's not, by the way. You know who's the Zion of college golf? Tiger fucking Woods. When he was at Stanford. Okay? I don't need to hear Matthew Wolff is the Zion. Maybe I'm hating on Matthew Wolff, too.
I think you are. He seems like I didn't know anything about him, but he seems like a guy that could bring some character, bring some color to the tour. He had the handlebar mustache, the chest hair. He has that really weird swing, and he bombs the ball. So I think that's good for golf.
Okay, I like Matthew Wolff.
Nice job, Wolf.
If he was
Turn you around.
if he was that good though, he would have went straight to the tour and wouldn't have gone to college.
You don't know. You don't know how he values his schooling.
Well, you're right. Oklahoma State's where you're going to head as soon as you want a real education.
Did Tiger play in college?
Basically, Ivy League.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
Unwarranted shot
So Tiger was
at Oklahoma State.
Tiger went to college.
What do you mean? The billionaire funds everything there. What's his name again?
Guy from Stanford.
T. Boone Pickens.
Is he didn't he die recently?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Who?
T.
Boone
Boone
Pickens.
Pickens.
Moment of silence for T. Boone Pickens. Is this a real person? Or is this a movie?
A couple years
No,
ago.
real person. Number 1 donor at Oklahoma State.
To the stadium's named after. I believe.
Beautiful facility.
Moment of silence for T. Boone. Are you fucking kidding me? We can't even get 1 minute.
Who was that?
Ty.
Who do you think?
Oh, well, okay.
What's
We
that?
get it.
What the hell
It's
does
Ty.
that mean?
It's Ty.
So I should respect Matthew Wolff more, is what I'm being told.
Yes.
I still think I golf for a week and a half, 2 weeks. I could beat the guy.
Just Matthew Wolff. You don't think you could take on DJ? You might need 10 days for DJ.
Maybe 4 weeks for Dustin Johnson. He hits the ball a long way. I guess Wolff is a real bomber, though. He's my new guy.
He won the long drive thing.
All right, Matthew Wolff's my new guy. Matthew Wolff's my new guy. Can't wait to watch this guy fade into obscurity like what, the other 400 golfers that never make it. This is going to be my guy.
You know what's going to be the best? In Matthew Wolff, when he has like 5 majors 3 years from now, and they're going to play this clip in like a little highlight reel at the very beginning. It's going to be you on camera being super just killing the dude. Like
yeah, but
you're trying to give him a compliment.
Yeah, but we will answer with May 18th, 2020. I say he's my guy. That's, you know what I mean? We'll answer. We'll answer that. We can each selectively edit however we would like to edit. I never heard of the dude. I guess he's good in college. I don't watch college golf. I watch the pros swing the sticks for millions of dollars. Yeah. I would have hoped that another notable individual would have been a part of the snooze fest, but now that they brought Matthew Wolff, I'm thankful that's why he's my guy. Matthew Wolff is my guy.
What happened?
Why did he get in? What made him pick
Nobody
him?
fucking knows. I still don't know. Because he was the Zion of college. They were thinking that maybe all the college golf fans would want to watch.
Don't you think there would have been multiple professional golfers that would have loved that spot?
How about Brooks Koepka? How about we get a guy who hates golf?
Is Brooks? It was a tailor-made thing, so I think they had to go tailor-made people.
Nope. Rory Mac.
I found it. So Rory swings.
Nike.
What did I say earlier?
I bet Rory used tailor-made clubs
Sorry,
now, though,
Ricky.
'cause Nike doesn't
Ricky.
make clubs.
Ricky is a Cobra.
Cobra,
has
but I
Cobra
guess he
clubs.
plays a tailor-made ball.
Oh my god.
So you had to have some sort of tailor-made, I'm guessing, in your setup to be in this.
Well, Brooks Koepka, when he was a kid playing hockey, he always had that tailor-made mitt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whenever you go out there and
Stick.
golf on Lake Minnetonka.
That's what we need. Titleists to put on an event too for Brooks to play.
So we
Brooks
can
is from Florida. Why is he in Lake Minnetonka?
You know, vacations and stuff.
What happened to Bryson DeChambeau? I thought he was college golf's hero.
Science. No, science got to him.
Who's that guy we hate?
Patrick
Justin
Reed.
Thomas.
Patrick Reed. Could be
Hate a
all
lot
of
of
them.
We don't think we like Justin.
There's
Thomas.
some weird allegations against Patrick Reed from like his college time. There's some weird stuff.
He's a cheater.
Yeah, he
What?
was
What stuff?
Stealing teammates. stuff.
Steal
Stealing
shit.
laptops and shit from his teammates.
Like Doug
I thought it was
Gottlieb.
like on-course stuff too.
Oh yeah, he cheated.
Really?
Kicking his ball.
Little foot
forward.
wedge.
See, I
Yeah,
think
he hit just like 6 months ago. He ground his club
He
in the
moved-
sand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he moved sand from behind his ball, yeah.
can't fucking do it, pal. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Can't do it, pal. There's no excuse. Like you can't claim ignorance either.
I don't know any of them. Tiger's my guy.
And,
Matthew Wolff.
yeah.
Is this son of a bitch even qualified? Does he have a Q card or whatever it is?
He's won a few events.
Yeah, he's hot.
He's not hot. He fucking lost yesterday. Rory and Dustin playing their worst golf.
I mean, that's not bad. It's not a bad thing to say you lost to Rory and Dustin.
What do you got to do? You got to go to Q school if you want to get the card and the whole thing, and then you go on golf, the big break, and then you break a couple pans of glass.
Is that still going on?
No,
I
think-
wish.
it was an awesome show.
It was late night. I used to watch it all the time.
Pat, you would have been a great subject for Hank Haney to work with. You know how he did like Phelps, Barkley, and spends all this time with him?
He's
I
a
don't
little
think Hank-
highbrow for me, a little hoity-toity. I'd have had to slap him in the mouth once or twice, but I think we would have been.
It would have been good.
I think it would have been good conversation. I think everybody.
I think there would have
thought-
been. Think about it, Pat. It'd be the first week you guys would just be butting heads the whole time, like, oh, who's the alpha? I'm going to establish myself as the alpha, just like you're trying to do in your text conversation with your close personal friend Aaron Rodgers.
No,
So,
that ain't.
What?
That ain't about that. We're both nervous. We're not trying
Oh,
to
you're
outfit.
both nervous. My bad. Yeah, he did actually. I got a text right before he went on. It was weird. He's like, "Hey, man, when you're done with, I know you got this big show coming up here at 1. Good luck. It's always great. I love watching it. Hit me back after the show's over because I'm not really sure what I should say to Pat. Maybe you have some good insight."
Bingo. So, I thought that was the
Now
case.
it makes sense that you told me the story.
AJ, we talked in the first show about how good my chop block defense is. You see that?
Let me see.
Oh,
Terrible. You're cut all day long.
No, I'm not.
Your hands stayed at your waist.
Well, I pushed the guy off. Look.
Oh, you hit the table?
that's where his shoulders are.
You see that? Did
Your
you
legs
see?
are still too close, right? Your legs are too close right there. You're cut. You're down.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
Get
not.
your legs back.
Look at this. Not cut. Not cut. Not cut. I'm still
Yeah,
in
you're
the.
just running in place while the ball carrier runs around you and scores a touchdown.
Nah, I fucking got him.
Oh,
Rip. Ah. Rip.
oh.
Anyways, how long do you think I would last in a UFC fight against a professional fighter?
As long as the fighter wants to let you last?
Nah, see, I think you're wrong. I think I'm in control here. So,
Wait, are you fighting somebody in your same weight class?
yeah,
Would
big
be
body.
heavyweight. It's heavyweight right now. So Francis Ngannou, Daniel Cormier, Brock Lesnar. There's some big guys up
No,
there.
no, not Brock Lesnar. Anybody but Brock Lesnar.
Brock will come back. He'll come back.
Nah,
if
nah,
the
not
money's
for
right.
me. No, let's give me it, just because I'll take that
Ngannou.
Ngannou guy. I don't want to, but
Step to the side.
This is just for the story. Okay, this is just for the story. You don't think I could avoid for a minute and a half before he knocks me the fuck out?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Okay, what are you gonna do
Can't even
when
see
he's
him.
swinging? So like his arms, first off, his wingspan is crazy.
It was a deep lock.
I'll pay to see it.
Ngannou pinned.
No, we're not actually doing this. This is something that was asked to me by a guy.
Yeah, nobody would license this. Obviously, it would. No commission would let this happen.
I'm not signing off on it. This is just a hypothetical.
Yeah, no, there's no chance you would last 90 seconds with Francis Ngannou. You could wear your football helmet, all your pads. You could take my high school shoulder pads that are gigantic. You could put them on with the helmet, strap all the way up, and you're not going to last 90 seconds.
The issue is I don't think I can run for 90 seconds. You know what I mean? I'm going to run.
Yeah, but what if you clip him 10 seconds in and it lights out?
With
You ever
a
heard of
knee.
this?
Night.
Night. This is called
gotta-
Ambien, cuz. And don't let Advil PM get fucking involved in this.
Take 2 of these.
You
You'll
know
be
what
out
I
till
mean?
tomorrow.
I'll give you 4 pills if you need it, bub.
Here,
Ooh,
rotate your
yeah.
wrist. Turn your wrist back out now. Keep doing that. Face the
Somebody got
camera.
me earlier for the fucking Ray Finkel plunger, Jim Carrey, last week. It's not a great gif.
So your right hand is Ambien, your left one's Advil PM.
Yeah. They'll both put you to sleep, one faster than the other.
I did. You know what? Ty brings up a good point. I did not think of what could you have a puncher's chance. That's what they say. So what if you clip him in the first 10 seconds and then you pounce on him?
Well, I definitely will not clip him within the first 10 seconds because I am running for at least 30 to 45 seconds. But whenever I get to the point where the cage, kind of has me, I'm kind of in a spot and I can't run anymore, then that's where I'm throwing everything I got just trying to catch it. And yeah, I understand that there's probably one coming back, but if that connects, I win. And when
It's a double
it does-
knockout. You're both going out.
That's
But
a
I'm
win.
on the
That's a
cage,
win.
so I can't fall as fast as he can because I'm up against the cage because he's cornering me like I'm a wildebeest. So I'm still standing. I'm out of my feet. He's done. Who's the winner? Nobody knows.
How about one punt to the thigh to him?
I feel like leg
No
kicks would
chance.
be
He
your.
wouldn't even flinch.
Leg kicks hurt me.
You don't think he's been leg kicked harder than you could leg kick him?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
That's a
I
big
understand
kick.
your quads are good for absorbing leg kicks, I think, Pat. I'm sure you could have a hell of a leg kick, but not anything compared to a professional fighter.
All right, head kick then.
Okay.
Are those professional fighters moving soccer balls 124 fucking miles an hour?
Answer that, AJ.
Is that really happening? I might be wrong, but is that happening?
No, they're kicking through people's legs.
That is true because when Mitrione kicked me in the thigh, almost took me down. I kicked him in the thigh. He kept his little bounce thing. You know what I mean?
You watched Gaethje. Didn't you watch Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, what was that, a week ago?
Oh, yeah.
Gaethje's leg kicks are absolutely nasty. Like, guys can't even stand.
Well, you're supposed to kick with your shin, by the way.
Oh no.
So, I mean, if I'm in one of them fights, I guess I'm going and kicking bamboo like I'm Karate Kid for a while. Probably.
Yeah, you got to deaden the nerves.
Yeah, I'm probably taking this thing and just cranking it. You know what I mean?
Why don't we start out today? Let's start today.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm just, the question was, how long do I last in there? And I think I could run and potentially avoid. Avoid.
I mean, if you're on a football field, I think you could run. You could maybe make it to 60 seconds. But he's going to get you.
I want to let you know, you would never in a million years cut block me.
Why would I even try to cut? I would take you high all day.
Huh?
I would never cut you. I would go high all day long. I would never take the easy way out.
Bro, I would.
He would.
Cobra strike you in the fucking face.
He would.
It
come
would
for
be a
your
fun
skull,
collision
like
because
Hurst
we would both our foreheads would meet as our hands were shooting out. And it's like, okay, let's just see. And we both get dinged up, and we're both holding each other up as we're slightly unconscious. Good job. We pat each other in the back. All right, see you next play.
How many dances have you had with guys where it's like, all right, who's letting go first?
Easy. And both go, all right.
Because you're two professional athletes, okay, two meatheads, and you're about this far apart from each other, staring at each other, hands locked in, mouthpieces potentially in. Easy. I got you.
Cool. Easy. Come on, man. Come on. Don't be like these dumb rooks you have. Come on, easy.
And then every once in a while, whenever you go to let go, one person will hand swipe, so they win the
You got to hand swipe him, and then you push off, and like, all right, next play, we got to headbutt again.
Every time I got blocked on kickoffs, I took it as such an honor.
But I would.
But I knew at the end I was going to win at the end of the film. You know what I mean? So like as we were standing up, like easy. Whenever the play was over, I was going to do at least just a little something so it looked like it was on film that I was trying. You know what I mean? Excuse me.
How mad would those guys get? Especially if they kind of did take it. If you were doing easy, and you guys are kind of finishing up the play like that, and he's like, I could have dumped this dude, and then you chop and you rip off of him like sprint. You sprint 5 yards.
So on film, fuck you. Like I by the way, I've never even thought about them because usually it's so like I'll wait until at least their head's turned. You know what I mean? So they don't even know that I'm just strictly flexing for film at the moment. Right?
Hey,
now.
That stuff, the stuff that you do, and I'm sure you would agree with this. When a punter does something like that, and he's like doing a dick move like that, engaging and ripping off to try to look good at the end of the film, that's the prime thing. That's like one of the first things the special teams coach on the Monday leading up to your game will put on, like, hey, look at this dickhead. Don't get caught up with him. Don't listen to him. The dude thinks he's funny. He's slamming a river. Who cares? You take him down. Do not listen to him. He's going to try to butter you up in warm-ups and make you think you're awesome. And he's going to mention something to like make it a personal connection between you two, but it's all an act. And he's going to try to make himself look good at the end of the play. So just take him out. Don't mess with him. Don't listen to him. Don't talk to him. Just put him on the ground.
I feel like this is something you heard said by a special teams coach because I had a lot of guys come up to me and they were like, oh, we watched your film on blah, blah, blah. They would say something in warm-ups or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a long day, Hopefully you don't kill me. And they're like, hopefully you don't kill me. We saw your film on blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you guys watched my film? Like, oh, yeah, we watched every single tackle that you had 3 times this week. And it was said, like, don't get tackled by him if you get tackled by him. I'm like, okay, so I'm definitely getting blocked this week. That's what that means in my head. I couldn't even think about who's coming to potentially assassinate me, though. And, I looked at it as a compliment, but that was my MO. Everything you just said there is basically my MO. Look at this dickhead. He's going to try to win you over, and then he's going to ruin it at the end. That was literally game in, game out. Little sportsmanship, little gamesmanship. You got to do what you got to do.
Well, you're a professional. I think that is a compliment for a coach to say that to his whole special teams room.
Hey, listen, don't fucking. This guy, he might look a little pudgy this year. He's a little bit fatter than last year. This is what he's done in the past, though. Let's remember that. And you're coming to block him. Don't let him do. I was great at O-laying, folks, too. Oh. That was one of my big. You can't do that on defensive side. You have to square those blocks up. I used to be able to just go, whoop, see you later. Nothing happening here. Whole different world. Go ahead, Zeke.
So for like when a team's basically about to like kneel the ball, is there like a safe word that's said that that not to like go full speed?
AJ, because when Greg Schiano came in, and started doing the dive at the knees during the victory formation. Obviously, there were some people a bit perturbed by this whole thing, telling Shiano to get the hell out of the league, basically. This is like something that's respected. It's not a forfeit. It's basically a forfeit at that time by the defensive side. Were you ever a part of a team or a situation where a player was like, I go hard every single rep no matter what, even if it's victory formation?
Yeah, I mean, I in some situations like that when the offense is kneeling it, I play with Mike Daniels, who's in Detroit now. I think he may a few times may have dove at the ball. And Mike's one of those guys that's like, I play hard all the time. Check out his Instagram sometime that he's posting all kind of workout vids out there for you. Like, he's an intense dude. And I think he may have jumped once. And then, like, there's always a couple vet O-linemen. They're like, come on, man. They talk to the vet D-line. I'm like, man, take care of this dude or we're going to kill him. Like, that's what they basically would talk to the rest of the defense. And then guys are like, all right, this sucks anyway. The team's kneeling the ball on us. But, yeah, I think it is kind of I don't know. I was torn when Shiano did that, and then Shiano like stood up and like, well, we're going to do this. The game, there's still minutes, there's still seconds on the clock. We're trying to win this game. And I'm like, I don't know. You got to cut back to some footage of the last time someone was successful knocking the ball when the center had already started the snap. Have you seen that on film where someone's gotten it?
I've seen it in practice. We had a D lineman that was very quick, that when the ball would go up, he was able to get it by the time ball leaves ground to taint. Guy was able to slap it in practice. And I was always like, is that legal in the game or whatever? And I never got an actual answer. I'm not.
It is, but you have to not go offside. So like you got to time it up exactly right. So where the center has to be super slow with his snap, and you have to get it once the ball starts moving. Then you can get your hand in it and try to get enough on the ball to knock it loose and then try to dive on it. I just haven't seen it happen a whole lot. I'm sure it has.
I almost had to go out and take the kneel down in Miami when Charlie Whitehurst blew out his hamstring. I almost had to get out there.
Were you nervous?
Well, it would have been my first ever snaps under center, and it would have been victory formation during a time period where we were not winning a lot. So all I could think, and I think Ndamukong Suh was on the other team. Ooh. So it would have been me under center with Ndamukong Suh sitting right there. And I would have loved to hear what came out of my mouth right before I lined up there.
Would you have danced around for a little bit before you took the knee
like
to waste some more time? Now, when guys do that, I think they are free game to go after them.
Well, and they're trying to kill their offensive lineman.
Yeah,
just trying to kill him, completely trying to kill him.
Offensive linemen are the ones that are they're the ones that lose their mind when the defensive linemen will start diving at everyone's knees trying to get the ball in those snaps. Like that's who those guys will jump you.
My favorite is when they have to move forward because there's no place to go backwards to take your knee. So you got to run like a quarterback sneak while everybody's trying to not look like they're quitting on football, and it's just like one big clusterfuck, and then you fall down. That's probably what I would have tried to do, gain some yards on my rush.
Would you try to draw them off with a hard count?
Probably. I mean,
you would definitely get your own guys off sides.
Well,
They'd false start.
You got to remember, my guys heard my cadence every day in practice. You know what I mean? When I was going, hat! But if I see the white of his knuckles, you know what I mean? I know he's coming. If it's red, I know he's relaxed. If he's on the edge of his knuckles, I'm gonna bring him. I'm gonna bring him through it.
What D lineman's not wearing gloves?
Well, this is what they told Rudy, isn't it? Isn't it what they told Rudy?
Vince Papali.
But he was offsides.
Vince Papali. There it is. It was Vince Papali was told that.
Hey, Rudy got a sack.
Did he? Offsides.
Come on.
Did he really?
In the movie, yeah. Has anyone fact checked that?
He's got a big old sack, dude.
Didn't happen.
It didn't, Ty.
No.
Pat, do you have a cadence when you were a punter?
Oh, yeah.
Are you calling it? Your PP doing it? Who's
no,
doing it?
whenever I was field goals, I have cadence.
What was it? Let's hear it.
Well, it depends. What's it on? You tell me what we're on.
It's on 2.
Give me the distance, give me the time, give me the situation.
It's a 35-yarder in the right hash.
Right hash.
6 minutes in the fourth quarter.
4th and 4.
What's the score?
Tie game.
4th and 4 tie game. Oof. Okay, so I'm definitely trying to get them to jump offside so we can blow at least a little bit more of the clock before we kick it off. So I'm probably going on. Did I go on 2 earlier? If I went on 2 earlier in the game, I'm hitting him with a 3-piece, which, by the way, is Ursay because he's got 3 daughters. Okay, so the call would be Ursay, and I would come out and drop a nice little. What hash are we on? The right hash?
Yep.
So it'd be blue, right? Because if this thing goes to hell, we're rolling to the left. Blue, sit! Try to get him on that one. No jump. Let's do a little bit of time here then for the second one. Sit! Then the second and third one are fast, back and forth, because if I get them on the second one, I want to make sure they don't get back.
Do you know beforehand that the second and third are going to be that fast?
Yeah, normally in practice, we practice it every single field goal in practice was either on a different number because it's more so for. Granted, you have to have a kicker that's able to do it, Vinatieri, but also the offensive line has to be very, very conditioned to doing it because if you take a 35-yard field goal and make it a 38 or 40-yard field goal, not that big of a deal. You take a 47-yard field goal and make it a 52-yard field goal. You better go ahead and just walk it right back to the locker room and just act like you got nothing going on. But yeah, I felt good. They used to come after me a little bit. I had to adjust because you couldn't move your hand or your head anymore. So it was just strictly gut. So the fatter I got, the more I moved. So I had to get a little bit thinner. When we were wearing blue jerseys, it was a lot easier than when we were wearing the fucking spotlighted fishbowl white jerseys that we were wearing. I mean, it was a lot of those things. But yeah, try to get a good read on them.
It's good. It's interesting to hear how much goes into it.
Well, I got a lot of people off sides, to be honest with you. I feel like I had a pretty good cadence, but I also got called a couple times, and Vinatieri wasn't pleased whenever that would happen. I would always tell him, that's a bullshit call. You know it. I didn't even check the film. Check the film.
Yeah, the best was when they used to be able to try to jump over the center. Like when I was in college, our snapper would snap the ball, and his move was to jump and try to punch the guy in the balls. Not jump, but his head would be forced down, but he would throw his hand up and always just be punching in the air to try to punch that guy as he's jumping over top of him.
Yeah, their little job was try to get him right there in the sack whenever they're jumping because then it'll make them crunch at least a little bit. Jamie Collins did it to us, and it was too far. As soon as I saw him roaming in the back, I was like, oh, no, we got to change this cadence to on two, but I'd already been into the cadence. It was like, what do we do? What do we do? And then I saw him timing it perfectly, and I was like, oh, well, we're fucked here. And he did. He jumped over as the ball was being snapped perfectly, blocks the kick. I try to chase it down, the whole thing. That's a scary situation for sure.
Well, they can jump, but they have to be like in the A-gaps, right? And they can't touch anybody. Like, you can't use your hand to assist yourself. Your foot can't even nudge any
can't
lineman,
propel
right?
yourself. You have to be within the front line, so you have to be within, I forget the total distance, you might know it, I don't know, maybe 6 inches or something like that. And you can't touch anybody on the way up or the way down.
And you can't line up directly over the center. That's the snapper. That's a penalty too that they call sometimes.
Yeah, so he came from the second level, and then he just so happened to time it up. So if we really wanted to fight this, which I'm not sure what the rule was at the time, he was lined up over the center as he was snapping this. So that potentially with the modern rules gets reversed. But I think back then they were kind of in the adjustment period. That was back whenever the long snappers, either this year or before that, were still getting crushed. I mean, long snappers used to get crushed.
Just snap it, and they'd have two guys that would take them all the way, but they'd end up on their back with two dudes on top of them.
And their heads would be straight down, and these dudes would just be just 600 pounds, double push sometimes on each of their shoulders. And they were like, well, they changed the rules. Everybody's like, oh, long snappers are so fucking soft. It's like some of them were holding 1,200 pounds worth of force on their shoulders and their neck while they were doing it. But there's always going to be ways to get around it. Jamie Collins was one of them.
Hey, do you think, I had somebody tell me years ago that they think there should be a show on NFL Network, ESPN, whatever, that is strictly special teams. Like, do you think there's a thirst for that out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much knowledge that hasn't been told about special teams.
Do people want to know, though?
I think I've made a pretty good career off of it. I think the For the Brand videos, I mean, one led to a Wall Street Journal article.
Because of your personality, though, and who you are. That's not like some guy meticulously going through special teams plays.
Well, I mean, if Jay Feely was doing it, probably nobody's going to watch. Ben Stein, nobody's going to watch. But I think it all is in the delivery of said information. Some professors are worth a damn, some aren't. And their delivery, I believe, would be everything. Jay Feely took a ricochet shot he wasn't deserving of, but I'm just saying, I don't think a lot of people knew about special teams until it's articulated in a fashion that's like, oh, this makes a little bit more sense to me as opposed to the, all the other bullshit that has happened over the years.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it may be all right. People love to hear, like, that's what I mean. I'm curious about ways that you looked at special teams. Like I said, when I was thrown in there, those guys played mind tricks on me and would mess with me, man. They were such a tight group. I feel like they had so many tricks.
Bill Belichick is a guy I'd like to hear talk about special teams.
He will. That's one of the few things I think he will elaborate on.
I'd like to have a conversation with him about special teams.
And he would remember, like, every punt you ever had in college and the NFL?
They worked me out strictly so that Pat White could have somebody punting balls to him, which is interesting.
That's a great opportunity for you.
I thought so, too. Thought I had a pretty good day, too. Turns out I did not. They did not draft.
Well, who was the punter? Who was their punter then?
I think they got Zoltan Mesko at the time from Michigan. That was
Lefty.
back.
They love lefty punters though.
Not anymore. They're past that because there's too many lefties. So now there's a bunch of lefties. Back whenever there was no lefties, it was a smart decision because the ball turned over the opposite direction. You can make a returner have to think about something. Anything that can kind of cause a little bit of a glip in the consistency of something you would do. But now there's a bunch of lefties, so it's not really that normal anymore. Not really that irregular, I mean. Anyways.
Yeah, I guess.
Linebackers. Everybody said linebackers are the next ones out of the game. Kickers and then linebackers are next.
What do you mean?
Well, you don't see any linebackers getting big paydays anymore. You don't see.
Oh, inside backers? No, you're not a whole lot. You're right.
So what, is everybody just going to become a nickel on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, as far as like where offenses are going, you're going to have a bunch of these hybrid safety linebacker guys that you can kind of be in between. There'll be like a big safety that can come down the box, but he's also a good cover man where you feel comfortable putting him on your tight end or slot receivers. He's not a corner, but he's a big safety, and those guys are very valuable now.
Isaiah Simmons, they said he's going to lock in a linebacker, I guess, but as a linebacker in this modern day and age, he's going to have to play safety. They're going to rush him off the edge. He's going to have to drop back. I mean, Isaiah Simmons is the prototype that everybody will be looking for moving forward. What's that?
Good luck. There's not a whole lot of people that are born with his physical stature and able to run sub 4.4 and play every position on defense.
How long?
What?
What do you run, a 4.3 or 4.2?
4.38, believe.
4.38.
He's like 6'4", 230 something, 240.
You know, they said Michael Jordan ran a 4.38 at North Carolina.
Did they really?
Oh yeah, Roy Williams
That's what
said
they
it.
said. I don't know.
Why would you time a basketball player in a 40?
So Roy Williams can lie.
He was fast.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me, pal. Sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
If he did, I would guess that's the last 40 Michael Jordan ever ran when he was at North Carolina.
No, he used to run all the time. That was the thing about Michael Jordan. He ran all the time.
What was his time down the first base path? That's probably a good way to judge
What's
it.
that, 60?
Yeah.
There's a question.
Wow.
He ran it for his first 13 games of his baseball career. That fun little fact gets left out a lot whenever people talk about him playing baseball, being a bad baseball player. He was a stud baseball player.
He was righty. He was righty, though.
Yeah, I'm talking about me playing baseball.
Oh, yeah. I know. That's still a thing.
It is still a thing. Have you heard one single player come out and say Blake Snell wasn't speaking exactly what we were all thinking? No, they're all agreeing with him. They all think it's be a bunch of sack of shit malarkey. They ain't going to have a league.
So what do you think is going to happen? I read something where it talked about how much has to go into it for baseball to happen. Like there's a lot to get together, and they don't have a whole lot of time.
3 to 4 weeks. They have to get all the governors and mayors to say, yep, you can play here. They got to get the local television and local radio people an ability to cover it however they're going to cover it. You got to get the baseball players to agree to not only a 50% salary cut because you're only playing half the games, but now a 50-50 revenue split, which is allegedly 33% more, Don. Then you take into taxes. You're going to make the players have to accept 10% of what they think they're going to make for a shortened season, and it all has to happen within the next 3 to 4 weeks. I just don't see it happening. Even though I want baseball to come back, I'm not 100% sure they get this done without replacements. And if they need replacements, what have we been saying this whole time?
Me and you, we're ready. What position are you playing?
I normally start at right field whenever I play, but if they
That's
need
perfect. I'll go center.
Okay, you're going to have to run a lot more. But if they need me to pitch, I'll pitch too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I might need to be the closer. I don't think my elbow and shoulder can hold up like it used to.
Are you coming out of what's your song that you're jogging out to?
I'm sprinting. No, they're just going to replace. I'm going to sprint from center field to the mound.
Nice.
And then you got to send someone from the dugout to center.
John Rocker.
What's the song going to be, though?
I don't know.
Brett Michaels.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life.
But I'm already at the mound by now. I'm already at the mound. It's going to have to be something that hits real early on because I'm going to be at the mound in a split second.
Oh, you're saying you still got the juice. You're going to be there fast. We don't have all day, pal. We got a quick run.
What, no
Yeah, I'm
warm-up
going to
pitches?
sprint there, and then I'll be out of breath for the first, 8 pitches I throw.
Is this the thing right here?
That's this one.
This one right here?
Yeah.
What's this for? You do look comfortable, lefty. You really do.
Thank you.
Swing. I want to see it. Oh! Jeez. Did you hit the table?
No,
What
the TV.
did that hit?
The TV.
Look at the table. It's got marks on it. Is that from the bat?
No, it was the TV. We're about 2 inches away from a cracked screen.
That's a home run!
That telestrator's cheap.
Boys, we're all good, boys.
Good hit.
That was a fucking hack.
Good hit.
Thought
What
I had
did you
enough
hit?
room. Thought I had enough room.
That's what happens when you play sticks in here.
Guys. Oh, mama, I'm in the field.
The touchscreen almost got it. We're good
Hey,
though.
Pat, but you mentioned all of those
By the way,
stumbling blocks that
fucking
could be in
good
the way.
swing.
Good hack.
That was a good hack. You're right. But have you read like the protocols though? The showering is discouraged for the players in the clubhouse.
Shower pill.
If they're in the clubhouse, they got to wear masks until they get on the field. There's no high fives. There's no dip. There's no sunflower seeds.
Wait, no
There's
chaw?
no Gatorade tubs. You got to have your own individual things. Like there's a lot of things in place. Also, if somebody tests positive, what do they do with them? How long are they quarantined? All kinds of situations going on.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen.
If they can't chaw, they will cancel the season.
It's like Toradol.
They already said no seeds, no dip. I wonder if that means no gum either.
They're going to sneak that in there. I
You
mean,
need seeds and dip for the
I don't want to say that tobacco is a big part of baseball, but I feel like anybody who's seen baseball knows that a massive hog in the side of a face is something that
Golf too now. Golf is huge for dippers.
I don't know why. It's the worst. I don't understand why.
Terrible.
It's because they can do it because it's something you can do while golfing, while playing baseball.
Smoke a cig.
Guys used to dip while they're playing football. I can hear stories about that from the 80s and the early 90s. Guys would play with a dip in.
Cigs are bad for you.
My guy Janikowski, the best.
Did he do it?
Yeah, he jogged up to me. I'm outing him kind of here, but I guess it just adds to the Janikowski. Him and Leckler came jogging over to me pregame, first time we were playing against him in Oakland, and it was after I got in trouble. So Janikowski thanked me for being the drunk kicker now instead of him. He goes, thanks. And they got big old. I mean, I've never seen a lipper as big as I've seen on those two jogging over to me. It was incredible. Just
Edelman always has bombs in too.
go on both. Whenever he told me to. I was
Wait,
like, how do I
what?
get?
Please do it. Please tell me what he said to you.
Well, I asked him, I was like, he said, thank you or whatever for me, like becoming the bad drunk kicker or whatever. And I was like, this substance of abuse policy is terrible. They're testing me 8 times a month. I can't do anything. I think my life is ruined. He goes, go on cruise. What they do, land on boat. And I started dying laughing. And I was like, bingo. So I went on like 3 cruises that off season or whatever. And here we go. That's how you get around it. And then the lockout happened. And I love Janikowski and Leckler. Absolutely love those men. But that was one of the biggest I've ever seen on the field of play, jogging up to me when he was talking to me.
Yeah, how would you feel if you were playing and you fell and like your elbow went to a big old puddle of dip spit?
That happens all the time. People, you do.
Happens in practice a lot.
Oh,
'Cause
bear
coaches
crawls.
a lot of coaches dip too.
Yeah, coaches dip. I mean, that spit is everywhere. You got like, there's been a couple like Play 60 events I go to where in the exact place that these kids are rolling around in, I saw a coach probably puke and spit in there less than 12 hours before.
It was probably field turf too. That's the best when guys spit on field turf.
I'm like, let's play 60, but let's also wash for at least 60, 70 minutes each one of our fucking hands that are in the middle of a cesspool right now in this field. I mean, it was a wild scene out there. Some other things we should talk about that obviously happened. Frank Reich is very optimistic that Phil Rivers will spend multiple years with the Colts, so he's not going to be a high school coach just yet. Nobody knows if that's true. Can't even really talk about it. Premier League clubs have agreed to resume training this week after Bundesliga had success, as well as the NASCAR and golf. Lakers will open their facility after getting clearance from LA County government and health officials. Here we go. Feels like we're coming back to life. And big shout out to the golfers, NASCAR's human cockfighters, and the soccer players this weekend who put on an absolute show for all of us.
Wait, so how did the Lakers and LA County get okayed when all I hear is people in LA freaking out because they supposedly extended their lockdown to what, August 1st?
Yeah, another 3 months, 3 to 4 months. I guess the thing about the Lakers is if there's a chance to get a stimulus check, they're going to do it.
Yeah,
right?
we know California need money too.
Well, the Lakers got $4.4 million for that payroll.
They gave it back.
Cover. Yeah, they gave it back, but they still had to fucking apply for it, right? So let's not. Yes, very noble to give that back, but at some point, whenever they applied for it, I mean it's ridiculous. But
$4 billion franchise.
the Lakers do whatever the hell they want. They've provided us with a lot of entertainment. I would assume that they said, hey, other cities and teams are going to be able to get back into their facilities. 22 of 30 allegedly were supposed to open today. The Lakers were like, you have to let us in there. I assume the Clippers are saying the same thing. I assume there's a big, long guideline set of rules on what they can do to get back in there. But I think if the Lakers want something to happen, they're going to make it happen, just like they did with the stimulus check stuff.
How is that?
Why is the NBA different to where there's teams going back and coaches going back at different times, and the NFL is saying, like, no, even though some facilities are opening up to other personnel, coaches are not allowed in until they're all allowed in, it seems like.
Well, I think the NFL is doing a rollout where 50% of the building is allowed to come back. There's never allowed to be – there's an entire process. I would assume that the NFL owners are much more pissed off about potential advantages from cities that are in the middle of America as opposed to on the coast. That's why they also have more time, though. I think the NBA is dealing in much tighter time constraints as opposed to the NFL, especially if they're trying to resume last year in a tournament style. So I think that's why they're kind of pushing for it to open quick as possible and maybe putting a little bit pressure on the teams that can open it. The NFL, though, you know that if all it takes is, what, 2 owners to be furious and for them to have to hold something back. But I assume the NFL will also dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge their way right into season going off without a single hitch.
Yeah, they will. And I think it makes sense, though, to not let certain coaches come back in while other coaches are stuck at home. I get it. Like, sure, is that a competitive advantage? I don't know if it's really going to show on the field next year, but I understand why if you were a coach stuck at home for an extra 40 days, like, you'd feel like you're a little bit behind the 8 ball.
How is it different for, like, they wouldn't let the UFC come back in California, and I would assume there's more people that would be at the, like, an NBA facility. How is that different at all? Like, why would they let the Lakers open up their facility, but they wouldn't let those UFC fights go off in California?
Well, why are you allowed in a grocery store but not a restaurant? I mean, there's a lot of, I don't want to say hypocritical things happening, but there seems to be a lot of things that directly oppose other things that are going on. And I think it's because we're in an unprecedented time where nobody knows what the hell is going to happen. And I would assume that everybody, I don't want to say everybody's just pulling things out of their ass, but it does feel as if things are just getting pulled out of asses at this point and just being like, yup, this is smart. I have said since day one, how come I'm allowed to go into this grocery store where everybody can finger fuck my food? And it's packed. Everybody in the entire town is in this grocery store because it's the only place you can go. But you can't go to the restaurant that's 2 doors down that's going out of business because you're not there, and you can't order food. Just the entire thing has not made much sense. And I think history, 5 years, 10 years from now, will ask a lot of questions about things the way they've been handled.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they'll say, well, you can go to that restaurant. You just have to get takeout. You can't sit there and eat it. But it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't. I don't know.
None of it
I don't
makes
know.
sense.
Don't shut down the grocery stores, though. Can't do that.
Can't shut down the grocery stores. Can't shut down the pharmacies. But can't shut down Amazon. But can shut down every small business that's basically downtown. I mean, it's just it's very.
Does this change? Like, let's say people in the future are thinking, like, they're coming through this and they're young and they want to start a company or whatever, or they're thinking of trying to get a job. Does this change what kind of avenue you may go into? So if something like this happens again, you want to make sure you're an essential worker so you're not laid off, you're not fired?
How are you fiscally responsible enough to plan for something like this ever again? I think that is more so the question, right?
Yeah, like how do you find a way to scratch away savings like every month?
No, but I'm talking about as a company. I'm talking about as a company. Like as a business, I think we're learning a lot about a lot of businesses. Now, granted, you know that the restaurants and bars, local stuff that we see on a regular basis, many of them are living month to month, bill to bill, just trying to survive, right? That's why supporting small business is so vital because they have no idea which day will be their last day open. But I'm talking about the companies themselves. I'm learning a lot about a lot of big companies that haven't been fiscally responsible to their employees, where they're living literally month to month paying everybody out. And these are companies that are these massive conglomerates of companies, just absolutely, their spend rate is so high that as soon as something goes wrong, it's like, well, now we need a bailout, or we need to furlough everybody or put everybody out of business. It's like, shouldn't you at some point have some sort of duty to your employees? Like, hey, if something was to go wrong, you'd still be able to have a job? Or is it like, well, it got us, it got you too, fuck it, let's move forward? I just think there should be a little bit more expected of these people that run these big companies, that if shit was to go to hell in a handbasket, you'd be able to at least afford people's salaries for a couple months instead of just kicking them out into the ground for all their years of work.
Well, yeah, this is going to reset a lot of people's minds on how they think about it, especially if you have a big company. Well, first off, the first thing that's going to go is a lot of overhead, a lot of unnecessary overhead that people had, office space. Like, all right, well, we're going to sit down. Well, we got 40% of our workers that they can work from home. Like, we don't need to have office space for them, so we'll free up some cash there. And it just, yeah, I guess going forward, everyone's going to have to think about that a little bit. And I don't know, man. Yeah, hopefully nothing like this happens again.
How about Jim Cash Penny? J.C. Penny.
No.
Sports Illustrated.
I didn't know they were still around.
What's that?
Sports Illustrated's in trouble right now. They one of their owners just spoke at an investment meeting and said that they have enough cash to last until April 2021, but after that, it's questionable.
You get put on Michael's list. Bad things happen.
April 2021. Yeah, they shouldn't have said that thing about his baseball. You know what I mean? Sports Illustrated doesn't do that thing about his baseball game. April 2021. They're saying if we make $0 until April 2021, they're going to make money after.
How does Sports Illustrated make money? Through just
Advertisements,
selling
I'd assume?
ads online, though? Like the magazine, there's a physical magazine still, right?
I would assume there's subscriptions. They got podcasts. I'd assume they sell. I would assume.
Yeah, they do. They do. You're right. It's all advertising money from their content they put out now.
They got money till April 2021.
Well, you should be good then. Don't you think we can come up with a plan for the next 11 months, whatever it is?
Hey, fiscally responsible to their employees, by the way, to be able to Sports Illustrated is able to withstand two up to however many months is that? 4 more, 5 more, 6. They got 7 or 8 more months or whatever.
They just got a $5.7 million loan through the payroll protection program last month too.
That's more than what the Lakers got, by the way.
Ooh. But think about, you were mentioning businesses that aren't fiscally responsible. What if you're a young company that it was a startup and all of a sudden you're starting to blow up? You're starting to exponentially start to hire because you have so much work and you're building, and then all of a sudden, bam, COVID comes and shuts you down. You're not going to have any reserves to take care of people.
Oh, yeah. Some startups laid off a lot of people in Boston. A lot.
Starbucks did?
No, some startups. So these are startups companies.
Oh, yeah. Well, startups are in a bad spot. But once you become a company, though, I don't know.
Even the ones like there's.
We could get into this for a long. I'm not going to. Just because I think a lot of people that run businesses are full of fucking shit and they shouldn't be teaching anything because they're just completely fucking over their employees. But I digress. It's a different time for everybody. A lot of people in the comment section are asking for us to respond to Big Ben Roethlisberger. What has happened to Big Ben Roethlisberger? There must be some Big Ben news. Excited to hear about this from the boys. What's going on with Big Ben?
We unfortunately cannot play the video because it has copyright music in it. But it starts with a video of him on a plane saying, "I'm not shaving or cutting my hair until I'm back throwing again." And someone asked him, like, throw into a toddler or blah, and he's like, no, like throwing NFL throws with my teammates. Then it cuts to him throwing NFL throws with his teammates. Then it cuts to him getting a haircut.
What's his hair look like? Do we have any pictures or anything?
Yeah, can't you play the video and mute it?
Yep. But it just doesn't do it justice.
I don't know if you'd be able to see it though.
Well, just show a still shot of
looks good though.
afterwards.
Oh, okay. At _ Big Ben 7. I've been blocked from this account, so I
He's
cannot
looking
see
jacked.
He does. He looks thin. He looks jacked. Remember, he went after Jay Glazer a little bit ago for going after his off-season workout routine. He said, "Hey, Jay, I do more than just yoga and drink beer, pal. I'm coming back from Tommy John, and here's me slinging the rock to old Switzer and Juju. And then I go into a barbershop while they're wearing gloves and trim down the Grizzly Adams beard, and I look like a brand new man." Ben Roethlisberger looks like he's 25 years old. He looks younger and thinner and better than ever. Is Ben Roethlisberger coming back to the Pittsburgh Steelers next year? A better Ben? It sure looks that way. And are the Pittsburgh Steelers ready to make that run in that march to the stairway to 7?
Yeah, I mean, I am emptying out the bank account on FanDuel for it.
Oh, my.
Because of this video?
Yes.
Ben is
Where
never
is he flying on the private jet? Where's he going?
Wherever he wants.
To Florida probably to throw with, or to California, wherever Juju and Switz were.
Well, that was after he was cleanly shaven, so I guess he was flying home.
Pittsburgh, sorry. They're throwing in Pittsburgh.
So where was he flying from?
That was
after his
that was when he was
surgery.
saying, "I'm not going to throw until." So it was probably on the way to
That was a
the
year
surgery.
ago.
Oh, the plane was an old video before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he has short hair in it.
I thought it was after.
So that was behind the
that's what he looks like
scenes.
now.
Yeah.
So everything I just said was wrong then?
Yeah. Didn't you think, Pat, that's what he looks like now, that the plane shot?
Yeah, it literally just cut an entire promo that he's going to come back better than ever because of how good he looked in that video.
It was the way
at the end
Zito
when he was
demonstrated the video.
Yeah, I mean, you boys definitely set me up for failure there. I mean, you put me in the same spot as this fucking television whenever I'm swinging the bat. You guys put me in a bad position there.
So is there a shot of him post haircut
Yes.
in this video?
Where's that at?
Zito showed it at the end.
No, that was him getting his haircut.
Yeah, that's it.
So they don't have a shot of him actually with the haircut.
So when in the video is he in the airplane? In the beginning of the video?
The
or
beginning is whenever he's going to get his Tommy John surgery. So at the beginning there, he's actually at his most injured. He has a broken elbow in that video at the part where he looks his best there. He looks his absolute best. His elbow is broken, and he said he's not shaving or cutting his hair until he's throwing a football again in this particular scene. Is that accurate?
Yes.
I have not watched myself, but I cannot say.
I said yes.
Okay, so perfect. So then he shows, the beard and the rehab and the entire process. Now he's playing catch with Juju and Ryan Switzer, and then he goes and gets his haircuts. Big Ben Roethlisberger's all the way back, and he's probably feeling himself, if I had to guess.
Correct.
Okay, now I'm glad we cleared that up. I wasn't really sure what was happening there. So is the beard completely gone?
No, he just trimmed it.
Just trimmed it.
This is a big story.
This is a big story. Cole Beasley changed his number. Cooper Kupp changed his number. Ben Roethlisberger, who once promised to not get his beard or hair trimmed until he recovered completely from his Tommy John surgery and was throwing footballs again, is now cutting his hair and throwing footballs again. The Pittsburgh Steelers fan base is rejoicing at once. Congrats to Big Ben on getting through a grueling in painstaking rehab of Tommy John and had to watch Mason Rudolph and Ducky Hodges last season. I think the Steelers are in a good spot all of a sudden.
I now know what it feels like to have a kid. Like, I know what it feels like to have a kid. Like, to watch the baby come out and then be handed to you. That's what I felt watching that video.
The haircut?
Yeah.
And then the other one's the OBJ tweet.
Yeah, then Odell Beckham Jr., I believe, reacted to a Myles Garrett tweet. How OBJ thought spanking the cop was going to go was when Rodman, after he got into a Karl Malone, smacked him on his ass. Malone smacks him on his ass. Little horseplay, keep it moving. Odell Beckham says, wait a minute, Myles Garrett. That wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was I got charged with assault, and you somehow didn't. Only in America, what he's referring to, Myles Garrett taking off Mason Rudolph's helmet on national television and playing whack-a-mole with Mason Rudolph's head in Mason Rudolph's helmet. No charges were pressed there. He was suspended, got re-upped, signed a new deal. Welcome back, Myles Garrett. Can't wait to see you on the football field. Odell Beckham Jr. is like, excuse me, we're smoking some cigars. We're celebrating, a little ass-slapping, hand-clapping, and all of a sudden I get a charge pressed against me, assault. What are we doing here?
I mean, he has a point, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But does that happen where you get charged with assault when something happens on the football field? I know hockey, it has happened, stuff like that.
Well, the thing about this is I don't think America is the only place that this would be the only place that assault would be charged with. I think.
Well, it's like a saying. It's like only in America. It was just for effect.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you were to go slap somebody's ass in Iraq, I think there's something probably going down.
Probably get your hand off.
Probably, if I had to guess. Maybe.
Depends who you smack, I guess.
How about Russia? You go over there to Putin, you go, hey, let me smack you butt.
Yeah.
No way.
Good luck.
Wait, what? Is that your Russian accent?
Yeah, I tried to find it there midway through the sentence. Couldn't get there. You know what I mean? Just couldn't get there.
Just try one more time.
Let me smack butt.
I just want to get back to your Sebastian Janikowski.
Go on, both. What they do. He's the best.
He speaks a little better English than that.
He has an accent, though, for sure. I mean,
oh, yeah, he does. He's awesome.
He's the best. Janikowski is the best.
Kicked for 29 years, it seems like.
He said, I was going to retire. They pay me more money. I kick.
Did he ever lose any strength in his leg?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he still attempting 65-yarders in his
They
last
actually
season?
sent him out there for like an 80-yarder, and it was 30 yards short or something like that. But the fact was he was so strong that when he got old, he still had it. Because you're going to lose as you go. He was just so strong. I mean, there were stories coming out of Poland whenever he hit a soccer goal on the crossbar and it knocked the goal down. I mean, there were stories about his leg strength way back in it. The Polish cannon, I believe, or whatever it was called.
He had an awesome quote. I think whenever he got in trouble early in his career, they asked him, like, oh, what did you learn from this? And I think he said, well, I had a Raiders decal on my car. I know I should have known better than to have that. I know I'll take that thing off my car now so they can't, like, identify me.
Smart.
Something like that. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing.
That's very smart. Janikowski said a lot of things back in the day from what I've been told. There's a lot of
Florida
people who
State.
have come out and said, like, best partier they've ever been around, Sebastian Janikowski. I guess he used to just be awesome.
Is he from Poland?
Yeah, Leckler told us a couple stories. He came over as an exchange student in high school, and then he stayed, obviously, in Florida State, became a legend, almost won a Heisman. You get it. But Leckler and Janikowski used to live together, and they said they'd be going Leckler told us that they'd be going to practice in the morning, and they would have to step over the bodies of the people that were partying in their house. Didn't even know who they were, just kind of told them, like, hey, lock up when you guys are done. Janikowski and Leckler would be heading to practice out there. Two of the greatest of all time, too, by the way. So the fact they were able to pull that off, I respect it.
Yeah, the fact that the best, too, is what, like, don't you think Michael Jordan played in the perfect time for him, the era? Like, he played to where cell phones were a thing. They became a thing, especially late in his career. But social media wasn't around. So, yeah, Jordan couldn't go anywhere. He was mobbed no matter what he's doing. But he could go sit and play cards for 15 hours without a bunch of kids standing on the rail trying to take pictures and tweet it out. Like, he was still able to somehow live his life, but it wasn't all put out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's show is brought to you by a company that we love here. Okay? When we talk about companies that we love, we talk about this company, number one.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard of Melissa Etheridge?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Have you, AJ?
Yes, I have.
Melissa Etheridge says these are her favorite earbuds she has ever worn in her entire life.
What?
Wow.
Ever heard of Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, D-O-double-G.
Rolling down the street, smoking Endo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back with my Raycon earbuds in. That's what he says. J.R. Smith, same thing. Ray J, same thing. They say, hey, the Raycon E25 earbuds are half the price of all the other overly priced headphones and stuff, but they still provide the same amount of boom boom and Bluetooth connection that you're expecting from those things that are double the price. Half the price, same amount of quality. That's why Raycon is what Melissa Etheridge is singing all about.
Yeah.
Melissa Etheridge, we do know her from...
The Etheridge stuff.
Singing.
The dog commercial?
That's Sarah McLaughlin.
Oh, my bad. Different person.
Country
Well-
superstar.
Melissa Etheridge, we all know her from...
She's a country superstar.
Yeah.
Big time 90s.
Her
a
Raycon
star.
E95s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That is who, by the way, I was expecting somebody else to know who the hell Melissa is.
Oh yeah, bring me some water. Good song.
What's that?
Bring me some water. Like the way I do. Come to my window.
Come
window.
to my
window.
I'll be home soon. I'll be home. I'll be home. I'll be home soon. That's that song?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Love her.
Come to my window. I do know that song. And you know the proper things to wear when listening to that song?
What's that?
It's the Raycon E25.
Yeah.
Listen, their everyday E25 earbuds are the best model yet. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, because I'm all about that bass. About that bass. No treble. And a more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit. It also comes in new, fun colors. Hey, how about that? Go to buyraycon.com/sports talk for 15% off your order. Brought to you by our friends at Raycon. Wireless earbuds with a range of fun colors and patterns, super comfortable, and come with a variety of fit options. This is my favorite. So when you open your Raycon E25 earbuds, you open it up, they got like 4 different options for you. Well, you got baby little ears, bingo. You got above baby ears, bingo. Wow. You got big loose-ass wizard sleeve ears, bingo. Use these. They got all the options for you so they fit perfectly, and there's no stems or dangling wires. It just fits in your ear perfect, so you look like you're James Bond 007 whenever you're in that thing. I love them. Buyraycon.com/sports talk. SPORTSTALK, no space, 15% off at buyraycon.com.
Yeah, they're good for weird ears, like we talk about all the time, Pat. Me and you.
You and I have weird ears, but the Raycons stay in there. I can even use them on trampoline when I go jump on trampoline for my cardio. Also been using the pool a lot, by the way. Wow. This weekend, hit the pool, did some laps.
How'd it go?
You know, I forgot how your entire body gets an exercise whenever you're working out in a pool. I took a nap watching that golf thing. And on the other side of it, my body was sore in places that I didn't remember that could be sore. And that's because I was working on the breaststroke, you see.
Did you actually like work out or did you just swim around?
What do you think I'm doing? Just fucking playing games in there? I swam
Yeah,
some
are you
laps.
using your pool for leisure or is it a strictly a workout?
Nothing I do anymore is for leisure, okay? It's either business or performance. When I got in that pool, it was for both, okay? I did legs only, one over, legs only back, upper body only over, upper body only back. I got up, I ran actually across the pool a couple of times. I did some breaststroking. I did some freestyling. I did the backstroke. I even did the spit like I was a dolphin while I was doing it. I mean, I got after it in that pool for performance.
Do you heat? Are you heating your pool right now?
Yeah, the pool was like a baby pool down there. It seemed like everybody peed in it. It was very warm. It was warm.
Good. It's not cheap to do that. I'm glad you have the wealth to make it happen.
Did you get any water jumpers in? Do you got a basketball hoop in there?
I do have a basketball hoop in there.
How'd that go?
I'm not fucking playing games in there, Foxy.
Oh, come on.
I'm not in there to
You
play
jump on the
games.
diving board?
I didn't jump off that diving board. I'm there for games. I'm not there for games. I'm there to swim and get in shape. I want a low impact workout for my knees, so I go into that pool. Yeah, there was a basketball hoop there. And yeah, there was a ball that looks perfect. And maybe I should have practiced maybe some hook shots for whenever somebody comes over and plays a game of horse against me in my house, in my pool. Maybe there was a diving board there that looked absolutely scrumptious, and maybe I go and do a gainer off of that thing. But that's not what the pool's for. The pool is for exercise now, so I'm no longer fat. And I just want to let everybody know I would have wore my E25 Raycon earbuds in there, but I just didn't get a chance to put them in.
And hand up on me, Pat was in the deep end, which is like, what, 10 feet-ish?
12.
12 feet, and he was on the bottom and then jumped all the way from the bottom out of the pool onto the concrete, and then sent me the video, and I accidentally lost it. So
Yeah.
Go in your recently deleted videos.
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. I was planning on breaking the internet this weekend, jumping out of the pool, sending it over to Diggs, my friend Diggs, who's the host of the pod, and all of a sudden, bang, gets deleted, never to be found. I'll have to do it again sometime. I will.
I want you to film this. Like either take a GoPro underwater with you or maybe have Sam set up a camera and just time-lapse the whole workout.
Well, we're filming a documentary currently
On you?
for Our Last Dance.
Yep.
What happened? Are you up against a timeline? Do you have cancer?
No, we don't know. We never know.
Never know.
We're just filming now. You never know.
Until Billy kills everybody? Is that what you're doing?
Oh,
Essentially.
I mean,
Come
Essentially.
to my window, eat a bullet. What'd you do this weekend? You do any exercising? You look like you're glowing. Are you pregnant?
Yeah, I might be pregnant. I don't know. But, it got me thinking, though, because pools are going to open up, at least in Ohio. There's some pools that are going to open, and I assumed 2 weeks ago, I'm like, there's no way they're going to open pools up, are they? So I've seen a lot of people scrambling now when they thought, girls and guys both, thinking like, oh, I'm cool. Like, I don't have to go to the pool this summer. I'm good to go. I can just stay with my winter bod. Now I see a lot of people ratcheting up their workouts because they're like, oh, no, the pools are opening. I'm going to have to go be in my trunks.
Yeah, I had my personality bod going because I thought quarantine was potentially going to go on forever. But now as they're starting to open those doors, you got to get rid of the personality a little bit and trying to find a little don't puke in public type thing. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm in that pool for.
Well, you have your own pool, so it's not like you're ever going to public pools
Bingo.
like us minions.
Well, yeah, you have a hotel. I'm sure you have a pool over there. At the
Olympic
villa.
sized.
I do not have a pool at my house, no.
Well, then what?
What are you doing?
Don't you have kids?
Yeah, that's why I don't have a pool. I don't want them falling in, or I don't want one of their friends running around falling in.
Good
Okay.
point.
See, I got raccoons and stuff. They like the water.
Oh, so you covered up your pool.
Just get a bunch of floaties.
But you got them.
Oh, yeah, well, I know. There's a lot of different security measures you can take. I get it.
And they say the pool, by the way, not good for resale.
And I'm in Ohio. I can use it 2.5 months a year.
Hey,
Is that
we're in
really
the middle
worth
of
it?
those months right now, though, over here in Indiana.
Would be nice.
And I enjoyed it this weekend. The ear held up well, too. No hole in the eardrum. I mean, we're in a good spot over here.
It's just a matter of time until you're trying to do something off the board. Like you get done with a nice workout, you're feeling good, you get a bit sloppy on the board, and you smack that ear again, that hole comes back.
What would you say?
I mean, you're putting that out in the universe. I don't love it, But
And you're walking crooked for 3 more months.
Tim McAfee's got a little vertigo issue right now. He's trying to roll the balls in his ears back. He trended this weekend again with Lil Duval. Shout out Lil Duval, who Tim doesn't know, but he put out on Instagram about him. I think the issue might be I get too comfortable in that water and start looking for me to go off the deck or off the roof. That's my big problem. I've been watching too many parkour videos. Hey.
Like, Dude Perfect. Like, you're like a Dude Perfect guy. That's who you are.
No. Check out the parkour rabbit hole though.
Oh my god, I did it this weekend.
Zito is in the parkour rabbit hole.
There's a guy who dies. They put the video out.
And there's no coverage afterwards of this guy falling off this cliff. He's got his hand wrapped. He's had previous injuries, okay? And he wants to do a Mick twist on the edge of this cliff. He does a Mick twist, and then he stumbles, goes to grab something. Since it's taped, doesn't stick to anything, falls down. No reaction from the rest of the people that are on said cliff.
Just upload.
But you see, and then the video cuts, and then
Wait, who's filming?
nobody ever knows. It's just like
Bystander 1.
parkour.
Did they go
Grim
to?
Reaper.
Did they extend a hand to try to help?
No. They just let him die. And then by the time you think, like, is that guy dead? Boom, another video pops up of somebody fucking doing a gainer off of a bridge. I mean, the parkour people never quit. You get into a parkour rabbit hole, you're going to be like, these superheroes need to chill it out a little bit. I'm surprised everybody doesn't die.
I lifted my head after 5 hours, and I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, so I've been talking about it here for a couple of weeks. I've been in that said rabbit hole more than one time, more than I care to acknowledge. The parkour kids of the internet are a different breed, man.
How is there not a documentary on these kids, like Free Solo?
Don't talk too early on it. Could happen.
Maybe
Well, are they making money on it? Like, I guess the top YouTube ones are.
I'm there. If I could buy something, I would buy it from this one particular house that is pumping out just murderous content on a daily basis. One of them's going to die. They're not going to care.
Wait, is there multiple parkour players in one house? That's what they do.
I think they got like little rival little
like old
parkours.
school.
Parkour Palace.
Yeah, they got little rival parkours. They're jumping up. They're running off rocks differently around there. These sons of
Just see
bitches.
who can die the fastest.
Bro, these sons of bitches are wild, dude.
They're running off rocks differently. I mean, it's true.
Get into it. If you get a chance, get into it tonight.
I have a little bit. I get stuck in some rabbit holes on YouTube. That's one I could easily see myself jumping into and be like, man, I wish my knee felt better. Man, I could probably do some of this.
Hey.
Don't think that.
I'll get down there on that trampoline and I'll start doing the Mick twist. I'm like, I could do this off of a building if I had to. Yeah, just need how much room? Yeah, I got it. And that's going to be the death of me, I think.
My trampoline's going to kill me just from double bouncing my kids and neighbors' kids. Like, that thing takes its toll on you. It is not low impact.
Really?
No.
Well, maybe when you got kids just by the way, that's why. Now we come back full circle. That's why you should have done the drills.
There you go. You're getting your hand there, hands down, and put your feet back. Like, it's all in one fluid motion. But you got to do it going sideways. So I need to see you going at like an angle downhill. No, like start here, shuffle downhill at an angle, and then.
Listen, I don't need you telling me you can't even do it to the neighbors' kids on the trampoline, okay?
No, I wouldn't. But I have caught a few kids in midair when you double bounce them too high. I go, oh, he's flipping. Got to catch him. That does happen.
I like trampoline. You got to take some Dramamine though whenever you get on there at our age.
Honestly, I thought something was wrong with my brain. I'm start jumping, and I'm like, "What? Do I have vertigo? Like, what's happening?" I'm up in the air, and everything spins.
Yeah, you get motion sickness. I realized that when I got my trampoline. Because when I was a child, I was on trampoline a lot, and I thought, not mine, but friends' trampolines around our white trash neighborhood. And then, whenever I got my trampoline, I was like, "All right, awesome, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be my thing." And I get on there, I start doing all the flips I used to be able to do. I'm like, still got it. What an animal. And then I started jumping. I was like, oh, my God, I'm starting to get sick. And I was like, this is the exact feeling I get in the back of an Uber in New York City. I was like, am my car sick right now? So I took Dramamine the next time. Bingo. All good. You just got to get ready for car sickness when you're on that fucking trampoline.
It's good to know. I never thought it. I'm glad there's somebody else that has the same issue as me. I thought it was just me.
Well, I don't have any kids. I'm just doing it for myself. So that's kind of a problem.
It's fun. I agree. It can be fun. I love how you said you jumped on, you started doing flips, still got it. No big deal.
Still got it, by the way. Even bigger than I think when I was a kid because I'm a little.
Just got to have your medication.
Hey, I can fly around. People are seeing it on the. Hey.
Oh, you can. I've watched you do backflips off the ropes and stuff.
I used to be able to do standing backflip. It was my party trick. Like just out in the middle of nowhere.
How do you do? I always wonder the progression. How do you do that for the first time?
So I did it into a crash pad. So
you didn't have someone there kind of assisting you?
No, I would just do it into a crash pad because I saw somebody do it. Somebody did it somewhere. Maybe at a party. Somebody did it at a party, and I was like, "That's awesome. I should do that." And then I think I probably went home that night and like on my bed, like tried to do it. And I was like, "Oh, I'm close." Then I think the strength and conditioning staff at West Virginia, I asked them for a crash pad because they were training the gymnastics as well. I was like, "You guys leave the crash pad out." They're like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Just leave the crash pad out, please." And so after the workout, I went over there and I started trying to do a backflip in the crash pad, like knees slamming off of it. You know what I mean? And then one of the strength coaches was a former like All-American gymnast. And she was like, "All right, here we go. Let's go. If we're going to do it." She started doing like a little bit of a help thing while I'm in the air. She knew that there was no way I was leaving until I got it. It took me like one day, really, of the person flipping me. And then that night I got intoxicated and I was like, "Let's see if it works, boys." And I just went for it. And then it became my party trick until I tried to do it off of a wall one time. You know, I tried to do like the Jackie Chan off the wall. And I right on my back because I slipped. And that was it. That was all she wrote for the party trick. That was enough for me.
What does the party do when you try to run up the wall and flip and you fall?
Oh, just think about, I mean, you're thinking about the reality of it, but think about what they would have done if I hit that run-up wall backflip. Are you kidding me?
What kind of parties are you at?
I think it was after a Flip Cup victory, too. Like, I'm assuming I bang, nailed it, run over, let me hit this backflip off the wall. Instead, bang, right on the kitchen floor, just me and my back, and there was quite a ooh. And then I think I probably got escorted out.
What happens if you land it? You think does the whole party just lose their mind and fall down?
Oh my God! You know what I mean? And I'm probably
Champagne bottles going.
I mean, it's probably going ape shit. But instead, the opposite happened. But you know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I had done plenty of backflips at parties after finishing a Flip Cup round that brought people to their feet. It was inevitably going to fail, and that particular evening was it. And I'll never forget it. It was. I had to walk it out. I just had to leave the party. It was like when I asked the lady if she was pregnant after drinking with her for a couple hours. I just got to leave. I got to see you later. And I've never talked to those people ever again.
Oh, you slipped too. I mean, that's not saying that if you run up to that wall right now, you might be able to do it.
I didn't slip. I was just.
Did you wait? Was that your first attempt ever at running up the wall and slipping?
Yeah.
You just got caught up in the moment?
Yeah. It was a big moment. What do you want from me? I think we all want one flip. I'd assume we all want one flip, and it was potentially somebody we didn't like we were playing against, and it was just like
I'm no backflip expert, but like, would the wall be easier?
I think in my head at the time, I thought this would be a lot easier if I got something to help me here because I seen Jackie Chan do it. Jackie Chan used to be able to just run up walls. I could do a regular backflip, but how about the one off the wall? And I did a full run. Imagine sprinting towards a wall where there's no door, by the way. Like, and people's reaction was like, "Oh, what is this guy doing? Is he about to run through the wall?" Nope. Right foot up on there. Right foot up on the wall. Push. Flat right on the back. Oh. I couldn't even, like, now that I'm thinking about what other people had to be thinking,
They had to be confused as to, like, once all of a sudden, and then poof, you're gone because you had to walk it off. You had to leave.
Yeah, I wonder if the party just ended there.
So what was his goal? There's no way that was, like, to push off the wall and land on his neck and head.
That guy's the kicker for the team? Oh no.
As you're sulking away.
Yeah, woke up the next morning, boys, what a night. Why am I so sore? Oh, you don't remember? Oh, yeah, let's not talk about it. Let's move on. Let's just not go to that house ever again, by the way. It was a loud smack. I think it was a good sell. You know what I mean? It was a good bump. Yeah.
Until you go back as a 33-year-old and you land that jump with all the new kids that live in that house, and you're the absolute man.
Something to think about.
No.
I was trying to find a wall I thought was secure enough to give it a go here.
Oh, I've been in that studio. All of those walls are secure enough.
No, they are not. Every single one of our walls is falling down currently. Wood's falling off back here. There's things falling off down here. This shit's falling off the wall over here. We are not secure over here, but I was going to give it a go there for a second.
That poster is on the wall behind you because there's a hole underneath the AJ.
Yeah, you are covering up a hole in the wall here.
Oh, what happened? You swing a bat or a golf club in there?
All right, this show's over. No, it fucking fell apart, pal. Jesus.
Oh, my bad, pal.
Oh, wait.
He's trying to do the flip, I bet. There's no way you could do the flip. Like, I don't think you're ever we're athletic enough to flip off the wall.
All right.
See, now he's
Enough.
doing
I'm
it.
250 pounds. Give
There's
me
no
2
way.
months. Give me 2 months.
It's easier being heavier to do
No. Yeah, okay.
that. Think of the power you can get off that wall.
Yeah, it's easier to jump whenever you're heavier.
Those
That's-
little parkour guys probably weigh 150 pounds with
All right, how
skinny
about
little
this?
legs like Emmett.
How about this? 2 months.
Wow.
2 months from now.
Shut
Emmett does have tiny little fucking legs. Same with Evan. 2 months from now. What is that? July 18th?
Yes.
July 18th, I will do an off-the-wall backflip and a regular backflip. If I do, you have to donate $20,000 to a foundation of my choosing.
No.
What is the deal?
Well, I like to keep my charity under the radar. I don't want to publicize that.
It's a bet, though. All right, just give me the money then.
Okay.
20K?
Is that a bet?
Yeah, send me your Venmo name.
Well, cash up.
Okay.
Cash App, yeah.
Either or. We're not. Fuck them both.
True.
We'll use them both. So we got $20,000, 2 months. I got to do a backflip off a wall and a standing backflip.
I mean, I'd have to sign a contract if we're going to truly make that bet.
Oh no, no robberies now.
What?
Shake his hand.
Contracts right there.
No, I'm not shaking your hand. You're not going to bully me into a bet here on live YouTube with your spit.
Thought you were a Rust Belt kind of guy.
I promise you, I would donate $20,000 to any charity of your choice if you do a backflip off the wall and you last 90 seconds in the cage with Frank.
No.
That's the bet.
I'm not doing a 90
It's in a
seconds.
one-way
No
street.
way.
What, you get to make all the terms?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No, I know that's how it goes in your life, but no, not on this show. That's
Well,
not how
I'm
it
not
works.
fucking. There's no way. I would like the only injury that I could sustain be from me, not from somebody else. I
But
can't-
you started the show saying you could last 90 seconds with one of the scariest heavyweight MMA fighters of all time.
No. I said.
What?
Hypothetically, how long do I think I could if I had to last? I said I think I could run for 90 seconds. I think I could elude him for 90 seconds. I thought I could.
He's not trying to take you down. Don't worry. You don't have to protect your legs.
Well, good. I'll hit him with a whoop.
You got to learn. No, you need to learn some. You need to go work with some wrestlers and learn how to take him down if you want to last.
No, I'm going to try to stay without touching him for 90 seconds. That's going to
Good luck.
Anyway,
His
so
wingspan spans the whole cage pretty much.
probably good at ping pong if I had to guess. But the maybe 2 months from now, standing backflip off the wall, you'll donate, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, that's a show.
The greatest sports talk
We did
show
it.
on the internet from 1 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. So come
Oh, wait a
on
minute,
down,
wait a minute.
man.
Stop. We got to do Emmett's minutes.
Oh, here you go, Mitt.
We got to do Emmett's minutes.
Come on,
Have
Mitt.
to do it. Can't have the show end without Emmett's minutes. Mullet Mitt's back on a good Monday. I'm going to be honest. He struggled earlier today. He got something wrong in the first sentence, which we could have never, ever guessed. But I feel like he's going to hit his stride here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mullet Mitt's minutes.
All right, Pat McAfee is now texting friends with Aaron Rodgers.
Bingo.
We talked
That's
about-
that's technically not even true. So he might have already been off the rails.
kind of is.
You're right. Don't worry about him. He's in Ohio.
We talked about messaging first and choosing the right GIF. We talked
Oh,
about
No, what? Are you
kidding me?
that's how it's about.
Kindly, unfucking believable. Hit the music. It's over. Hit it. I mean, it's.
Come on down,
God
man.
damn it.
Everyone always
With
says
the
that.
boys on YouTube Live. It's McAfee and Hawk. It's McAfee and Hawk's Post Talk. AJ used to tackle quarterbacks, and he's
Sorry,
a
Matt.
spell kind of guy. That's the punter of the decade for the 2010s, kicking Pierce missiles to the sky.
Man, you idiot.
It's McAfee
He was
and
close
Hawk.
though.
It's McAfee and Hawk's Post Talk. It's McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk.